of that. Those are some great wins, guys. Thank you, guys. Well, obviously, we're extremely excited for our meeting today. As you guys know, we have some of the leadership from REOX with us today. So we're going to get into that in just a moment, but they're here to really share a market update of what's going on in that default space. And these are some of like the main leaders in our entire industry when it comes to default, with some really incredible perspectives that are going to help you guys. And so three of the leaders that we have with us today are Annie Collier, and Annie is the executive director of the REO Housing Exchange, also known as REOX. And this is a network of connecting residential REO agents and brokers with servicers, asset managers, and institutions. Let me repeat that because I want to make sure you guys just heard what I said. Connecting residential REO agents and brokers with servicers, asset managers, and institutions. And Annie also helps to manage the REOX directory and mentorship program, and works really closely with the Welcome Home Warrior Project, really focused on the people that we honor and hold up the most because they've done so much for our country. We also have Mr. Steve Pagano, who is the REOX Council and Chairman. Steve's also the principal broker of First Hawaiian Realty in Honolulu and broker owner of Pagano Properties in New York. Steve, super happy to have you here, and we're excited to hear from you as well.
Thank you. Thanks.
Yeah, no, thank you for being here. And finally, a gentleman who needs no introduction to this room, but we're going to introduce him anyway, and that is the REOX Technology and Innovation and Membership Program Advisor and the broker owner of Russell Realty Group, Mr. Jeff Russell, one of our leaders here in the organization. Super glad to have Jeff here, really contributing to the group like he does all of the time. So we're really excited to have you guys here today. And I'm going to turn it over to Annie and be quiet because there is so much to share. So Annie, thank you again for being here. I want to give you a moment to go ahead and share your screen, and
Okay.
then we're going to have you guys take over.
Thank you so much for that great introduction. Let me share my screen real quickly. Hi, everyone.
Absolutely.
I recognize a lot of your names, so good to see you. And nice to see some new names here. Let's see. I can do this correctly. There's a picture of my child. All right. Can everyone see my screen?
Yes.
We can see my not beautiful. Oh, now Jeff's not beautiful face on there. So if I don't know if you can minimize that part of your screen so we can see your full slide, but other than that, we're ready to go.
Oh, sorry. Every time I click on it, I am getting thrown all around here. So let me see.
There we go. That's better.
Okay. We'll make that work. Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us again today. And as Joseph said, I'm the executive director of the REO Housing Exchange, also known as REOX. Hopefully you've already heard of us, but if you haven't, as Joseph was saying, we connect REO agents and brokers with asset managers and servicers. And we do that through several different avenues, which I'll get into here in a bit. But why am I here today? I've spent my career building networks and partnerships to help people grow their business. And we're very fortunate that EXP and the REO Alliance have given us the chance to speak with you all. So thank you. We have launched programs like the Welcome Home Warrior Project to help provide homes to military families. And we're starting a lot of subcommittees in areas that we're very proud of. But today I want to give you a quick pulse check on the REO market, where we are and where we're heading, and help hopefully get you ready for winning more business as opportunities come up. So let's get into it. So where are we at today? So far in 2025, we've seen just over 21,000 REO completions, which is 12% higher than last year. And overall foreclosure activity is up about 6%. And here's the good news. The time to foreclose has dropped to about 645 days. That means properties are working through the pipeline faster than they have previously. So that's good news. We're seeing the most activity in states like Illinois, Delaware, Nevada, Florida, and South Carolina, and in metros like Lakeland, Columbia, Chicago, Oakland, and Las Vegas. Another positive trend is that vacant REO auctions are up about 30% year over year, which means once assets get to the bank, they are moving quickly. Borrowers are still mostly in good shape. National delinquency rates are below 4% and foreclosure starts remain low, but we are watching FHA and VA loans closely, especially in Sunbelt markets, so where prices are softening. ICE data does show that 1 in 4 seriously delinquent loans would be underwater at distressed prices, meaning as prices flatten or dip, more of these loans are turning into REO. So looking ahead, we're not heading for a 2008 style wave yet, but we do expect a gradual increase in REO inventory through 2026. So faster cycle times mean more properties will hit the market. And if home prices drop more broadly, unemployment ticks up and insurance costs keep rising, especially in places like Florida. And so more of these loans are ending up in REO, and that could speed things up even more. Here are some practical tips. So how should you prepare? Mainly get ready for this uptick earlier. A lot of people say that the 2008 crisis really started in 2006, and you want to be prepared to be the first call that asset managers make when the rises in REO inventory hit. This is where REOX can help by connecting you directly with the decision makers and giving you the tools to move more quickly. Just a little bit about REOX. You can gain visibility through our directory that's online and in print. We have a robust database of asset managers that we do direct mail to, and you'll also receive the REOX monthly newsletter, access to webinars, and connections made directly through our decision makers and asset management database. We are growing our work assignment program as well and have that robust list, but we do turn to our advisory council to find those more traditional pockets, where non-traditional pockets, excuse me, where we should be making those connections on behalf of our network. Another great opportunity we have that Joseph mentioned is our mentorship program, where you can opt in as a mentee or mentor. And that's really great because we've spoke to Freddie Mac, Fannie Mae, and with the demographic of REO agents, being a bit older, a lot of retiring, they'll make calls and, oh, that person in our network retired 2 years ago. So we really want to build up that next generation of REO agents and show to the asset management GSE community that we're serious about strengthening the field, and we want to give you that visibility as well. We do require that anyone who comes into our network who has less than 3 years of REO experience be assigned a mentor. So next, we have a conference coming up. We're super excited about this November. We're hosting the REOX Connect Summit, exclusive to our members, with private sessions, networking opportunities, and a cocktail party, and even an after party. So it's happening Monday, November 17th, that's of this year, 2025, during the Housing Intelligence Conference and Expo at the Irving Convention Center in Dallas, Texas. So you'll see companies like Freddie Mac, New Res and Shell Point, Dawson's Management, who has the USDA contract, PIMCO Asset Management, the FDIC, and more will be in attendance, and we're building up that list daily. You do have to be an REOX member to attend this summit. Membership cost is $125 a month with no annual commitment, or you can save a little with the annual option of $1250. And if you go ahead and register for the conference, the registration link is on the slide there. We will apply that credit to the difference in your membership after your approval. So the overall Housing Intelligence Conference is November 16th through the 18th. And we'll hold additional events relevant to REO agents. So we have a networking lunch, sessions on ancillary income opportunities, as well as a training that's going to be hosted by VRM. And yes, we've partnered with hotels that are within walking distance, and you can see those on the conference website as well. So we would love to see you all in Irving, Texas this November and get a chance to network with you and make connections for you. I mentioned now a few times the Welcome Home Warrior Project, so you can probably tell we're really proud of this initiative. This is our commitment to honoring those who have served by working to provide safe, stable homes to veterans and their families, and we are thrilled to partner with Operation Homefront in that effort, and also our military outreach advisor, Laura Dietz. Thank you so much for your effort in this area. and just combining our network and resources to make a meaningful difference in the lives of those who have given so much. Thank you. And yeah, so we have some information here on the screen. If you would like to contact us, there's my direct cell and my email address. Has some information here about the conference. And we also have on this call, as Joseph mentioned, Stephen Pagano, who's our advisory council chairman and the broker owner of Pagano Properties and First Hawaiian Realty. So I'm just going to go ahead and pass it over to Steve, who's going to be giving a further market update on deal flows and challenges in the market. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Hey, Annie, thank you for that. And
yes,
then also Larry mentioned if you can include the link in the chat there so he can include it in the recap.
Yes, I will include a few links in the chat. And I'm sorry, I'm still sharing my screen. So
no problem.
Thank you, Annie. Yeah, no worries. Thank you for saying. I'm actually new to Zoom. We use a different platform. We just switched over as well. But so we have the REOX.com and then the REOX. So sign up. And we also have I actually might mess that link up. So it's a long one there. For the housing intelligence, we have the housingintelligence.com/registration. So I'll send that here in a bit. Yeah, I'll go ahead and kick it over to Steve. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Annie. Thank you. And and before I start, thanks to REO Alliance and Larry and Joseph and really all of you guys for for having us on today. We know this is a meaningful group, and we're happy to interface with you guys. So a little bit about me for anybody who doesn't know me personally. I'm Steve Pagano. I'm in Honolulu right now. That makes it 5 a.m. for me and my fourth cup of coffee. And I also work in New York also. And it would be a little later there, I guess. So so what am I seeing here today? Probably a lot of the same things that you guys are. In my markets with REO, it seems like the title issues are predominant right now. Is everybody else seeing that too? I feel like that's the biggest part, is trying to clear some of these files. A lot of my files are going on 3 or 4 extensions, and even in some cases, I've got some 2 years for something so simple as somebody abbreviated association and didn't spell association. And it'll go back through the cycle because of stuff like this. And the ones in Hawaii, where I'm at right now, are particularly challenging because we have land court, and land court traces these files all the way back to King Kamehameha, and when Hawaii was its own country before we reappropriated it. So that's part of the issues here, and these things take a long time. So the good news for everybody else is, Annie said that the average throughout the country is 647 days. In both my states, which are number 1 and number 2 in timelines, respectively, they're around 2,000 days. So it'll take you roughly 2,000 days to clear a file in Hawaii, and a little bit less than that in New York. So it's I'm sure that your titles get moved through a lot more quicker than mine are. So there's a couple of opportunities I think out there right now, and I'd love to share that with somebody. If anybody wants to hit me up offline and discuss some of these things, I'm happy to share whatever I can in terms of hopefully placing with some of the clients that that I might be working with that might be working for you too. So yeah, where to look? There's a lot of room for growth, I think, in the upcoming reverse mortgage area. These if you're not working with these assets right now, you will be. And if you are working with them, you know what the particular challenges are. So I think there's quite a few services out there right now who can use the help of people like us who understand the disposition of these properties. And I can assure you that they're skinny in that department. I think there's people that are doing REO too, but this is a particular niche. I think that there's a real need for people that have skill in this area. So if it's not part of your toolbox, this is something you're going to want to add. And once again, if there's anything that I can help with that, please let me know. Just a couple of other short things. I think the good news here is historically, I'm not so sure where everybody's markets are at, but historically things with the defaults tend to swing from the West Coast to the East. So if you're on the East Coast, you're probably going to start seeing a bit more sooner than later. And I think that's mostly because we have a lot of judicial foreclosures on the east side, and the west side tend to move things through a little bit quicker. South also. So if you're a little bit slow in your market or whatever, just keep reaching out to your services. Hit us up, like Andy said. We've got the work program, and I think we're going to make great strides with that also. So if there's any of us on this call with REOX that can help you, please reach out to us. That's what we're here for. And thank you also to Larry and his team for having us on today. I appreciate that. And I'm going to turn it over to my actual good friend, Jeff Russell, who I haven't seen in person in a couple of years, but I expect I'll be seeing next month.
Hello, Steve. Thank you for that. And happy, what is Friday, everyone. As I'm sitting here, I looked up a chat GPT'd, right, as the technology and innovation advisor. I chat GPT'd that and found that the innovation part is something that I really hold close to my heart, and that's, helping others with new ways of thinking. And I'm going to take my short time here on this call and talk about something that I've said to many people, maybe not some of the because of REOX being on here, which let me talk about REOX for a second. So REOX is a company that I'm really excited about. I'm really excited about the conference that's coming up. I'm excited about some new blood. I think actually Laura Dietz, hello Laura, said something about that. And anybody knows me knows that once a month I have an REO call that I mastermind that's brand agnostic for anybody to come to. And I share all the different things that I'm doing or that I know what's coming and whatnot. Back in the last wave, I had very close to 200 active listings at one time. I was closing about 35 a month. I mean, that I don't say that to be braggadocious. I say it to so that you all know that what I talk about and I train for people to do, innovation wise, getting ahead of things. Wayne Gretzky was very good at what he did because he knew where that puck was going to be. He didn't skate to follow it. He skated to where he knew it was going to be. And, I don't think this next wave is going to be like 2008, right? There are some folks out there that think that. I'm not sure why, but there is going to be a lot of inventory. There is a lot of inventory right now. I do see it increasing. Being in Southern California and having, I've got, about 15 REO assets right now, and being in Southern California, that's a lot. So, as an innovator, I'll share one thing that we all should be doing. Um, I know that most of us here are here because we want to hear more about REO. How much is coming? When's it coming? Who's going to have it? Well, I don't think anybody on this call truly wants people to lose their homes, right? But we know it's inevitable. It's going to happen. We want to make sure that we are the experts that are going to help move these properties and the occupants, whether it's a borrower or tenant, through the process. So one of the things that I'm doing and what I want to share with you all is everybody probably remembers us old school folks remember foreclosure radar, right? It's now property radar. I've had property radar since 2007. I haven't ever given up my subscription. So what I'm alluding to is, whether it's property radar, your title person, or wherever you're going to get the information on the defaults before they go REO, right? Before they go third party or back to the bank, and fish upstream, right? What I'm doing is I dedicate several hours a week just to reach out to those homeowners that are in default to, excuse me, to try and help them before they get to a foreclosure, right? How can I help you slow down the foreclosure process? Some people on this call may not like that, but I'm more about helping people. So I want to get to them first, try and help them short sale, traditional sale, because a lot of people have equity, right? People told me this year or this time around, Jeff, there's not going to be a lot of foreclosures. Everybody has equity. Well, that's not true. I can't tell you how many REOs I've sold in the last 12 months that had equity, lots of equity, right? So fish upstream. If anybody needs any help with that, letters or anything like that, sharing is caring is my motto. I'm an open book. I love sharing with people. I love seeing people succeed. So that's probably one of the biggest things that I wanted to bring to this group. And mentoring. I'm not sure. I think Annie mentioned that this group is going to be taking on mentors, right? Anybody with three, was it three or Annie, was it three or
Less than 3 years of experience in REO is required to have a
Less than 3
mentor.
years. So there's going to be, Bob Norell said this at a conference a few years ago. He said there's going to be a changing of the guard, right? There's a lot of us that are in this REO space right now that are going to be, um, this might be our last wave, right? I'm hoping it's my last one, but so we need to take and train and help these realtors that are coming into the business now, and that's something that I've really been shamed for by some people in this space. But I want to share with other people. I want to help other people. So this group here, this is probably one of the first groups, REOX, that's reached out with a helping hand and said, "Hey, you haven't done REO yet? We're here to help." And that really warms my heart because I really love to help people. I know I only have a little bit of time and I'm a high I, so I talk a lot. So just Joseph, you can rein me in when you need to. The other thing I wanted to talk about, Chat GPT, being the technology advisor, embrace Chat GPT. Not when you're using Property Radar or whatever it is you're using, don't just fish upstream. Obviously, one thing that I do is when a property is in default, I'm using Chat GPT to find the beneficiary, right? This time around, there's a lot of hedge funds and people that we don't know that have these REOs. So how do you find them? Well, Property Radar, go in as soon as they go default, Chat GPT, put the information in there and who the beneficiary is, and have that information so that if and when that does go REO, the day it goes REO, by the way, I have alerts as soon as something goes REO, I know about it. You pick up the phone and you call that beneficiary and you come from a place of contribution, offer to do a BPO, offer to do excuse me, a drive-by occupancy check, whatever. And I've gotten so much business in the last 18 months by doing that. So that's really all I got. I just wanted to make sure I share that with you. That's just kind of a sneak peek of the value that you're going to get from REOX. Everybody here on the advisory council is amazing. I've worked with them on the Force Advisory Council, and I'm humbled to be voted in to be on this council. So thank you very much, everybody. And I'll put my contact information in the chat when I get done talking here, but feel free to reach out to me anytime.
Thank you guys so much. Like incredible information right out of the gate. Annie, is it okay if we move over to some Q&A now because we want to have a discussion with all of you?
Yes, that sounds great.
Yeah, I mean, we have some time to dig a little deeper, and I can already share that there's a couple of questions in the chat box already. One of them being to learn a little bit more about the mentorship program. So I definitely hope you guys can dive into more details because there's some folks on this call that want to better understand how they might be able to become mentors. And then another question that I want to pose for Jeff and Steve to start thinking about, and this was around your energy and excitement around REOX, given your experience, given how busy you are, just given how seasoned you are in this space, what's exciting you so much about REOX? But Annie, if you don't mind, I'll kick it over to you first and you can address like the mentor program.
Yes. So our mentorship program, we right now have 10 mentors who are assigned each one mentee. We have 3 guides that are meant to guide you through those initial conversations and really help build the initial phases of the relationship. So they're pretty lengthy. They're meant to serve an hour call where you get to know each other, and it prompts the mentor on how to start guiding the mentee based on their own experience. And like I said, we only have 10 mentors right now because of the demographic of the standard REO agent. We are trying to build up some new blood into the membership and into the REO space. Maybe there are agents who haven't been in REO yet. So that is a program that is new, it's building. And if you are interested in being a mentor and you are already part of our network, send me an email. My contact information is on the screen and I'll send it in the chat. And let me know so that when we have a mentee come up, you will be on that list. So right now we do have a little bit of a waiting list for mentors, and we're waiting for some new mentees to come in. But we do provide those guides, and we help to guide the mentors in making sure that those calls are happening on a once a month basis, and hopefully that they can connect during our conference and other industry events if they're not already in the same area. So, yeah.
And I can say as a mentor, it's a very robust program, and I've been dealing with short sales and REOs since 2008, and it's a robust program, and I know I'm excited to try to pass that information on because much like Jeff, this is probably going to be my last wave at 52. I'm gonna, I want to go ahead and get that information out to the young folks that are coming up along the way.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that too, Bob, and thank you, Annie, for addressing that
Yes,
question.
and it is also in our application. So if you are a new member, or coming in, it will ask you in your application if that's something that you're interested in. So be sure to check that box. Or even if you're interested as a mentee and you've been in the space for longer than 3 years, but just haven't served a lot of REO properties and are wanting to prepare, for an influx, you can select that you want to be a mentee. We do have a few mentees who have been in REO for 5-10 years. They just want some more guidance.
That's a
Right,
good
that makes
point.
perfect sense, right? If it's been several years since you've been really active, it would make a ton of sense to have a mentor to really just make sure that your skills are sharpened, in addition to you being clear about how this is going to look different than it did last time. Because I think that's been a real hot topic of conversation, how these assets are going to be distributed, what the expectations are going to be, even some of the cycles that we're going through in terms of, process, they're going to look different. And to be led by experts is really going to help us to make sure we're performing at the highest level, because ultimately agents at the end of the day, that means we're in line to get more properties if we're performing on a high level. So I think it's absolutely excellent that you guys have put that program together. And then if I can, I'm going to kick it over to Jeff and Steven with that question about your guys' excitement around REOX. Just again, given your level of, skill set, the time you've been around, and even how busy you are, why are you so excited about pouring into this?
Yeah, I'll start, Jeff, if it's okay then. So, um, I originally actually came into this, well, the force. It was with Annie, and it was around 2016, I believe, and the advisory board over there for all those years up until this year. And I spoke to Annie recently about this, and it was more in line with what I thought was more beneficial to the agents. Like, my the core of who I really am in this business doesn't really have to do with what I'm doing. I'm very fortunate, extraordinarily fortunate. But my mentor, when I first started, she said to me, she said, "Steve, I'm going to teach you everything I know, but you have to promise me you're going to pay it forward, you're going to give it back." I never forget that any single day. And that's what really drives me. It's not what's for me, but every day I rise and I say, how can I help somebody today? What can I do to improve somebody else? And I think that that's what's kept my butt in the chair for so long, um, truly. But I really believe that this organization right now and what the plans are and what the strategies are, and it's coming. It's even though it's a new organization, it's coming through already in very big ways and meaningful ways. So I know that we're able to help other agents, and we're doing that. And we want to see everybody win. This is the biggest thing. There's a lot of agents in our field that are struggling. Not everybody is hitting it out of the park. So, with that in mind, I think that the goal is to really help everybody else become a high achiever. There's a number of high achievers on this call today, but there's no reason why everybody else can't be one also. So, with that in mind, I think that that's what drives me to the higher standard that REOX is providing to the agents and actually giving you something, instead of just talk and legwork and webinars. So I think there's a lot more reach out there for agents, and I think that time will tell and demonstrate that this is a premium buy-in for anybody who's interested, and I hope that you guys all feel the same. I'll give it to Jeff then. Thanks.
Well, much like Steve, I was on the council for Force, as I said earlier, in 2016, and I've actually been a Force member ever since then. But there's things that are lacking out there, from a lot of the different REO organizations, and I want to make sure that I'm aligned oftentimes with many of them, right? And how do I have the time? Gosh, I don't know. Kelly would probably tell you that she tells me, Jeff, you don't have the time to do this, but I just love pouring into people. I was a reserve police officer for some time, and they pay me $1 a year. So it's not about the money. It's just about it's just rewarding to be able to help people and see people, excel. Here at eXp Realty, I'm a mentor for new agents that come into eXp Realty. And it's rewarding watching someone grow. And had I not had, I had Charles Santoro and Phil Barasa and quite honestly, Michael Crine as well. These people all helped me put me on the map where I am today. And I feel it's just important that we pour into people, because when you do that, it's going to come back to you tenfold. So that's the reason why when Steve and Laura and Annie and the advisory council here at REOX reached out to me and asked me to be on the an advisory council member, I was honored. I was like, wow, really? I didn't see that coming. And whether I have the time for it or not, I'm going to make the time for it, and I'm going to do what's right and help you all. So that's all I got. So sharing is caring, as I always like to say.
That's awesome, Jeff. You can tell there's like an actual focus on tangible benefit here at REOX, and that feels different, which is fantastic, and it's pretty exciting. For anyone else, I want to open it up. What other questions do you guys have? Feel free to unmute and ask away. We have a few more minutes with our rock stars here from REOX, so take advantage.
Hey, Joseph, it's Larry here, and the one without hair. And I just wanted to give a shout out. So I've had some huge speakers on this call, from Tom Ferry to Michael Hellickson to some of the top agents. I just want to congratulate this group. This is the first time that we've ever maxed out at 100 seats filled in this group. So I wanted to give a shout out to you guys. Like, I have people texting me on the backside, like, who the hell do you have on there? The president? Like, I've been trying to get in for this amount of time and stuff like that. And that's never happened before. I simply replied that he should have been on time, right? Like, so he can watch the recording or be on time next time. So I just wanted to give a huge shout out to Annie, Steve, Jeff. Love you guys to death. Thank you guys so much for being on and continuing to add value to the community and stuff here. And can't wait to see you guys in November.
Hey, Larry, as the technology advisor, you can see here on my notepad, maybe I wrote 100 plus. I noticed that too, and I went, "Wow, I think we're maxed out. I got to talk to Larry about upgrading."
I was gonna push the button for him, but didn't think that'd be the right thing to do. What other questions do you guys have out there? Please feel free to unmute.
Was it?
Hey, Joe.
Oh.
Go ahead, Kelly. Sorry.
No. I know that Joe had asked about a schedule, and I don't know if that was mentioned. When will that, and sorry if I'm asking again, but when will that be posted, so that way we can kind of see the schedule for the conference, just for travel?
Yes, we are finalizing our REO agent specific page on our conference website today. So that should be up later today. We have finalized the agenda. We're still adding speakers, panelists, fireside chats, and populating that agenda, but the talking points are all finalized, and we're filling up those sessions. So that should be posted later today on the housingintelligence.com. Yes. And yeah, so the REOX Connect Day will be on Monday, November 17th again. And that will have a series of speakers, panelists, chats, and then we'll have a cocktail hour, an after party, and then that next day of the overall conference, VRM will have their training, and there's a welcome night reception the night before, and some other REO agent events the morning before our REOX events. So it's a pretty robust schedule. Yeah.
Lawrence, I think you had a question as well.
Oh, no. I didn't want to get blamed for not letting people in. So I'll just let you know I was firing off as many people as I could in a admit button on there.
Got it. No worries. What other questions you guys have? Feel free to ask. Annie, I know that you have some questions that you guys get quite a bit.
Yes, I was going to say almost daily I get asked, there are several agents out there who are in areas that have higher REO volumes, but then there are agents who are in areas that don't, and they are expecting upticks, but they're not quite there yet. So if inventory is still relatively low in my area, why would I focus on REO now? Like, why should I join this now instead of maybe 6 months from now? And I know that we've probably beat this horse to death already, but our answer is because when the flow picks up, you don't want to be playing catch up. So as Jeff was saying, the agents who prepare now by building the relationships, getting a mentor or even aligning yourself with a mentee, because that is so attractive to the asset management companies out there that you're building up that next generation, lining up with vendors, getting all of the processes dialed in, you will be one of the first calls and you'll be able to move those assets faster. So many in 2008 were not prepared for all of a sudden getting so many listings and they had to turn some over. So you don't want to be in that position. So it's smart to align your business now to come to the conference, make those face-to-face connections, get in their Rolodex, and we would be happy to provide that avenue for you.
That's an amazing point, and I'm curious if I may ask a
Mhm.
question. Given the cycle this time around versus the last cycle that we had, are there any new types of vendors or different relationships that are important this go round that we didn't really need to focus on or weren't pertinent back then?
Yes. So that's really where our advisory council has come in handy. So we have Tom Bowman, who's one of our advisors, and he mentioned to us that this time around you're working a lot more with foreclosure attorneys than back in the day. So there wasn't as great of a need for foreclosure attorneys and agents to network. But now that need is there. And so our last webinar actually yesterday was with a foreclosure attorney, Robert Sambursky, and he's been about 20 years, and he actually heads up the REO division at his foreclosure law firm. So that wasn't as prevalent, and making those types of connections matters. And I know Steve can speak more to the non-traditional avenues, but we are reaching out. Our list is 700 plus, and it doesn't consist of just asset management firms. There's a lot of other, obviously hedge funds, that was back in the day as well, investors, servicers with their own REO divisions. And we're trying to reach the masses on behalf of our membership.
I would
This
probably
is Karen Gray in New York. I have a question.
Yes.
My question is, the market has changed a lot of things from whenever we had an influx of REOs to now. What new skills and tools would you advise REO agents to adapt and improve on for this time?
So for tools, I mean, Jeff, Jeff Russell, if you are, I think the best able to answer this is the technology. I hear tools and I hear technology.
I was going to
Yeah.
jump in. So as far as tools, I mean, there's a lot of them, but I did mention Chat GPT. That applies to all of your real estate business, and there's so many different things that I'm still learning about that. So I would say make sure that you Kelly, if you can put in the mastermind that I have that's brand agnostic for everybody when it is, but jump on that because we talk about a lot of stuff like that in depth. I don't want to take up the time here now, but I'll tell you, ChatGPT is one of them. The other one is simple things like Matterport, right? When you list a home that's an REO, a lot of us think, oh, we don't need a Matterport. I don't want to spend that money. Spend the money because you want to do what other agents can't or won't do and get recognized. Because when you start doing those things, this is a small space. These asset managers know each other, even if they're different companies. I've the last couple assets that I've been assigned, the asset manager told me, hey, we usually assign out of our network of broker agents, but this client of ours actually specifically said we want Jeff Russell. And I attribute that to going above and beyond and using the tools, doing the aerial shots, right? Pay the extra for the photographer to do the drone. So, that's, just off the cuff what I would say to answer that. But again, there's a lot more that we can talk about more in depth in my third Thursdays mastermind calls. I'm happy to help, and that's for anybody. You don't have to be a member of anything. That's just something that Jeff Russell does because he likes to help.
Hi guys, this is Karen again. I think what I was saying, what I was looking at more is being a solution finder for things like serious violations, because a lot of these buildings are coming up because they've been around for so long. They have serious violations and stuff like that. So I'm talking about being, maybe I should say, handy and a solution finder.
That might be a Steve question.
It might be. So you said you're in New York, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Good luck
Yes.
with that. Yeah, because I deal with these things all the time in New York too. I just had a very high value asset in Brooklyn, and the city is getting a little bit better, but by and large, you're sort of at their mercy, and that probably is a lot of the municipalities, unless you're in a smaller area and you're kind of hand holding some of the people, or they're in the circle of people. But I just think in general, it's just being persistent and giving your best effort. A lot of this stuff is out of our control. A lot, I manage a considerable number of assets right now, so it's like keeping a lot of different balls in the air. But I think that as long as you're demonstrating to your clients, and we've got some excellent clients out there, they're really meeting us more than halfway in terms of trying to, get violations cleared and things like that too, so we can move these assets along. But it's just, demonstrating that you're doing the best that you can, getting the information into them timely, and letting them and their attorney, evictions team, or whatever, do their thing, so that so that they can move it through as quickly as possible. Just because a lot of it's out of our hands. But New York, yeah, let's have fun.
Thank you for that question too, Karen. We appreciate that. What other questions you guys have? You guys good for a couple more minutes before we wrap? Because we do want to make sure we're off at the top of the hour.
Sure.
Absolutely.
But,
And I don't know who's watching the chat, but I think there might be some stuff in there too from some shy folks on the call.
Yeah, if you threw something in chat and we haven't addressed it, feel free to just unmute and ask away. I'll start glancing through there.
Hey,
Did we
Joseph, just
talk
really
how
quick.
much did we talk about the military? Because I know Laura put that in there, and I don't think I heard a lot on that. Maybe I missed it. Sorry.
Yes, no, that's okay. So I just went to the Welcome Home Warrior Project slide, and that's something I wanted to share actually when Joseph, you were asking about wins for the week. So we just finalized our contract with Operation Homefront. So we'll be sending out an official announcement next week, but we are partnering with them to provide housing to veterans. Thank you for the claps. And they will be in participation at the REOX Connect Summit. They'll be doing a fireside chat with the last family that they provided a home to, and we'll be now partnered with them in an initiative for REOX to provide a home in the next year to a veteran, and then in future years to do a home giveaway during our conference. So we are super excited about that. And we also would like to make, more connections in that space. We don't want to stop with Operation Homefront, but we are happy to adopt that charity. So yes. And Laura Dietz, our advisor in the military outreach space, has been very helpful in helping us make those connections and really driving that effort forward. So thank you.
That's a huge win for you guys, Annie.
Yes.
Congratulations. It's a huge win and such a gift that you guys are giving back. So that's amazing. Amazing in both ways.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. What other questions you guys have? We have a couple more minutes. This is your chance. You have a couple of the main leaders of REOX on here, so please feel free to unmute and ask away.
Hey, Joseph. Joe Mendoza, how are you?
Hey, Joe. Doing awesome, man. Good to see you on here. It's a win for me this week.
Thank you, thank you. Feelings mutual. I'm coaching some commercial title reps, and we're seeing some massive trades going on. Will REOX have some kind of access or connections, or what kind of possibilities are there for this commercial arena?
Right. So this year during the November conference, our focus is on residential REO, but that is something that has actually come up in our most recent council calls, as well as internally getting involved in the commercial REO space. So I think that is something that would come next year. Another initiative that's coming next year is our regional events. So as we grow, we'll start to host happy hours in regional areas, and do want to get more involved in the commercial REO space as well, and use the regional events to bring those connections together. So there is more benefit coming as we grow and evolve, but this year's conference will be focused in that residential REO space. Yeah.
Thank you, Annie.
Yeah, our
Thank you,
current
Joseph.
partnerships as well, but that is something, and I would love to talk to you more about that if you would like to have a call, because we at REOX are all about getting advice from those that are in the field and how we should best approach things. So yeah, I would love to have a conversation with you about that
Yeah,
further. For
love
sure.
to. I
Yeah.
sent my information and I applied already. So yeah, very
Awesome.
interested. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you, Joe. Good to have you on again. What other questions do you guys have? Feel free to unmute.
I have a quick question. So
Hey,
for our membership, if
Yeah.
you know, I signed up for monthly,
Yes.
do you guys just automatically charge my card every month, or do I have to go in and actually physically make a payment every month? Because I just went on my profile and it said apply for membership.
So whenever you go to that sign up page, you should have a login. And then your login would get you into your directory profile where you can edit all of your information. For billing, it is automatic, but it can be canceled at any time. So that's not something that you have to pay monthly. But if you are having any technical issues with the website, we have a great, one of our membership coordinators helps with anything website related, and she can make sure that you're up and going with a login. So you should have a username and password once you are a member to get in and edit your profile. Yes.
I can log in, but then it
Okay.
said apply for membership. And I was like, I thought I was already a member. So that was my question.
Okay. Yes, if I can get with you offline and make sure
Okay.
that there's not anything weird going on there, but no, you do not have to make that payment monthly. It is automatic. And then you would just send an email if ever you wanted to stop that automatic payment.
Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, let's look at that a little bit more, because that sounds like maybe something weird going on there.
And Annie, this tech person, how do we contact that tech person? Is there somewhere on
Yes,
the
I will
website?
send her contact information in the chat right now.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes. And you can also always email me and I make that connection too. If
Oh, Sheila. Okay.
yes.
And you're still sharing your screen. I'm not sure if you know, Annie.
Oh, thank you. All over.
Yep. And here's what we'll do. It looks like we're coming up to close to the top of the hour. I want to give you guys one more opportunity to share what you'd like. We're super honored to have you on here to this
Thank
meeting
you.
this morning. It's really exciting to see what REOX is doing. I love like the level of engagement that you guys are clearly leading with, and that hyper focus on, again, tangible benefit. It just feels very different in that way. So thank you guys again for being here. And I'm going to give you guys a last word for our meeting today.
Well, I think I'll jump in first, then I suppose.
Sure.
The first thing I'd like to do is unfortunately, one of our council members, Tom Bowman, couldn't be on the call. He's in continuing ed today, but I'd also like to thank Laura Dietz and Wendy Martin. I know they're on the call today, so thanks for as much time as they spend dedicating their time and service to REOX and really trying to improve the benefits for our community, and also to Annie for all that she's done so far, and really to everybody else that's on the call as well. Thank you for taking the time to listen to us today and to and to work with us in this business and to, raise the bar for everybody else that is working in our space and trying to be the best we can every single day and try to improve. So thank you. Anybody else?
Yes, thank you, Larry and Joseph, for this opportunity. We're very grateful to be able to speak to your audience. And just the bottom line is that REO inventory is growing, and we're trying to prepare ourselves, and we just urge everyone else to prepare themselves as well. So thank you for hearing us, and definitely contact us if you would like to hear more information or have any further questions. So.
And thank you to all of you guys here and everybody that on the council here. I appreciate everybody's time, and have a wonderful and safe weekend.
Yes, and just know again,
Yes,
we
happy
are
Friday.
yes, happy Friday. And thank you guys again. Larry will be sending out all the contact information and like a recap of this meeting for REOX, which will include the links. And of course, contact information. So if you have additional questions, if you want to, understand better how REOX can have a direct impact and benefit to your business, you're going to know how to reach out directly. So with that, let's go out and have an incredible week. Come back next Friday with all the wins again. Thank you guys for the tremendous honor of allowing me to host. And thank you again, REOX. We'll look forward to a lot more engagement with you guys moving forward. So with that, have a great day, everyone. Happy Friday. We'll see you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
bye.